You are wrong. The bicycle industry is not overpriced. In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything that I've seen in the past couple of days. I make a ton of these bicycle industry videos where I talk about businesses failing, businesses having tough times, what the result of one action is to another action, because I have personal experiences with it inside the bicycle industry that I go to my job day to day, and I see new companies release prices over prices over prices. I've made these videos in the past where I discussed prices back then, but in today's video, we're going to be talking about the prices of today's bicycles and also what they were 10 years ago. And what we're going to be talking about is the bicycle industry as big and bad as everyone is saying. Of course, everyone does not want to pay $14,000 for a superbike. Of course, everyone should not be looking at a $14,000 superbike to own themselves. I don't look at fancy supercars and say, I should be able to afford that. Why can't I afford that? I don't look at $2 million homes because of the fact that I can't afford a $2 million home, and I don't get mad when I can't afford it. I'm going to show you guys clear representation and clear examples today in today's video because I do a ton of these videos right here. Is this the start of the collapse of the bicycle industry? People seem to like it. People love to talk about the bicycle industry as a whole, but the general consensus I get from the comments is always the same, and I don't know if it's actually just people liking the comment on stuff or if this is what they truly believe, because of the fact that there are some truths to it. You know, obviously the prices have gone up since we have talked about it and since my YouTube channel has started. But also it seems just like people are just neglecting the fact of today's current economy, today's inflation rate, how much money got printed in 2020, which we will go over. I'll talk about all this stuff. It might be a little bit boring at some points, but we do have examples here that we're going to talk about and all this stuff. But a lot of the comments I got in a lot of my videos, and you might type your one comment and leave, but I get 352 comments, and I see them over and over and over again. And I read them. I don't answer all of them, but I read them. And the normal comment is, bike prices are fucking ridiculous. Consumers who are bent over begging manufacturers and retailers just to pay retail price or sometimes over it because it's a seller markets are now supposed to be sympathetic. You get what you effing deserve. Fair enough. I'm sure there could be examples of people going into retailer stores or going to a point where they get maybe mistreated, maybe charged overpriced. But in terms of a retail store like us, manufacturers make those prices, we sell them. If anything, my store kind of sells cheaper. We lower our labor rates to go ahead and help it. I'm sure there's stores out there who maybe mark up stuff like a car dealership, but the bicycle industry is nothing like a car dealership. On a car dealership lot, you go to a car dealership, they have cars sitting there. They don't have to pay for that inventory until it sells. At a bicycle store, we pay for all of our inventory up front, and we have a certain amount of days to go ahead and pay that back. So we're sitting on this inventory. We want to go ahead and move it just as much as you guys want to buy it. Fair enough. But a lot of these comments were all the same thing. Price gouging has consequences. We are seeing it now. Again, it was inflation. It was cost of demand of bicycles. There was a certain thing where at the start of COVID in 2020, bicycles that were really expensive were $12,000, and they made them themselves up to $14,000. This is not just the bicycle industry we're talking about. We're talking about everything in outdoor sports world. We're talking about RVs, motorcycles, four-wheelers, hunting, rifling, fishing equipment. Whatever you're doing outdoors because of the fact that you were stuck inside, you were buying outdoor equipment. And there was a demand for it. There was even someone here who said, price matters, and it does. And obviously, stuff is only going to sell when there's the demand for it. So if it was $12,000 and these companies couldn't keep up with the demand, they're going to raise their prices to go ahead and slow it down a little bit. Now, you guys might say it's gouging, but they went ahead and said that the cost of shipping containers went up. The cost of doing business went up. The cost of running factories went up. And we saw this everywhere. Now, unless all these manufacturers are lying, in every single department, not just the bicycle industry, just in the world, that shipping didn't cost so much. I wasn't happy about it because I have to go back and tell my customers who have deposits on bicycles now that they have to pay more money. So there's a ton of comments here. You guys can go ahead and read through it if you guys want to. Perhaps the name brand going under due to excessive greed will teach upcoming manufacturers how not to treat the customers. We're going to go ahead and take a look at something real quick together. This is M2. This basically says a graph for U.S. statistics, and we can see right here, hopefully my head's on the way, but it says billions of dollars And this is pretty much money printed over the span of that time. We have years from 1960 all the way up to current year where we are now. And as we can see, over the time period, the United States prints money to go ahead and combat whatever the case might be. They just go ahead and print money just for the fact of maybe buying things, whatever the case might be. So over the time period, money is being printed normally. And this is, again, billions of dollars. So don't let this normal number hit you. And it seems to be a steady growth. This is a normal growth of what they're printing money, yada, yada, yada. And obviously it's getting a little bit higher in the 2015s, but still nothing crazy. And then all of a sudden, 2020 happens. COVID time. You can see this massive amount of spike that happens out of nowhere. So what happened was, us in 2020, we're getting a bunch of free money from the government, and we were staying at home. We had nothing to spend our money on, so we went out and bought outdoor equipment. So that caused the demand for bicycles to go up. So again, these companies want to slow down purchasing because they couldn't produce enough product. So the fact they combated it with raising their prices, and those prices went up to from $12,000 to $14,000. And that saw a reflection all the way through the line from $2,000, $3,000, whatever the case may be. If a bicycle was $2,000, maybe you got hit with a price hike to $2,500, $2,700, whatever the case might be, but there still was a demand for it. And a lot of people are buying that because of the fact that they had all this money. What happens when this happens? What happens when we print way too much money than we should? We start to get crazy amount of inflation. And inflation, what's going to happen is, to combat inflation, we increase interest rates to slow it down, to slow people's spending down. This is our current situation in the United States. The reason why the bicycle prices feel so high, the reason why everything in this world feels so high, is because your cost of living went up. It's not because of the fact that you can't buy a new bicycle because of the fact that it's too high of a price. If you had $12,000 back in 2020, you probably had $14,000 to spend on a bicycle. The reason why you can't afford a new bicycle, myself included, is because the cost of our groceries have gone up. The cost of living has gone up. The cost for cars have gone up. The cost for everything for our daily lives have gone up in price. So our fun money, our disposable income, our things we used to be able to spend bicycle money on has gone up and poof. So now that $10,000, that $8,000, whatever you felt comfortable spending on a bicycle, you don't have that money anymore. And I make this very clear in my videos that the bicycles that I see sitting on shelves more often are the $2,000 to $5,000 bikes, because of the fact that is more targeted at the low to mid-level range of the economy of a person. And that person is really strapped for cash right now. We can take a look at our U.S. debt clock right here. This is public information. U.S. national debt is $34 trillion. But if we go right here to this number right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to move my head away. The median for a new home in the year 2000 was $163,000. Now everyone says the bicycle industry is overpriced, it's gouging. The median, the average, what average price for homes are going for are $415,000. I bought my house in 2015 for $250,000. Let's just call it that. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. My house has gone up in value like insane amount. But if I was to sell my house and move out, I couldn't afford anything now. So the cost of a new car back in 2000s was $22,000. The average cost of a new car now is $51,000. That has gone up double over that time period. Okay? So I know everyone likes to think that the bicycle industry is crazy price high, things aren't expensive, but just 10 years ago, okay? Seems like a lifetime ago. We're going to go over some prices with you guys. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Move my head out of the way. Okay, we'll move my head this way. This bike right here is a 2014 S-Works Venge. This is literally 10 years ago. This bicycle came out. The MSRP on this thing was $10,500. It had electronic shifting. It was 11-speed. Carbon fiber wheels. The bicycle that you get now, and I hate to say it, yes, it's $10,500. The bicycles now are $14,000. It's $3,500 difference. You guys might say that's almost half the price of what the bicycle costs. The bicycles you're getting now, for in terms of technology you're getting hydraulic disc brakes, integrated cables, crazy internal rim width for the channels of the bicycles to accept something, new bottom bracket linings. Everything is sleek, as fast, aerodynamic as possible. Now, you guys might still say, hey, it's still a push bike, it doesn't matter. But this price point for what it is for 10 years, it's still expensive. I couldn't imagine spending $10,500. I think spending $10,500 back in 2014 is more expensive than spending $14,000 in the year 2024. Money seems to be, when I go to the grocery store to spend on groceries for me, my wife, and my kids, and the grocery bill comes out to $250 or $300, I'm more comfortable spending that now. Not comfortable, but I'm more mentally okay with that, spending that now, than I was probably in the year 2019 spending $150 on groceries for my family. Even though I got more, I still felt that hit now. It just seems like our dollar doesn't have that value. It doesn't have that plunge. Another comment that I saw that someone said to me was this right here. Someone said to me in one of my comments for this video right here, they say Canyon has it down for $10,500. They're doing it right. But I asked that person, I said, at what point does that not matter anymore? Again, if that person has $10,500 and this is the life-saving change to the industry, let's say everyone just goes ahead and says, fine, you know what, $14,000 this is way too expensive. Let's make it $10,500. Are we going to see every single bicycle company out there move their product like Canyon? No, because the fact that it's going to be, Canyon won't be as special anymore because a lot of people only talk about Canyon for the price points of it. And their bicycles look amazing. They're great. They ride good. Everyone loves what they get from Canyon when they spend the money. But if everyone in their mother was to make their price point $10,500 for a bicycle, at what point do people start saying that's too expensive? We want it lower. That's way overpriced for a bicycle. What's going to make it affordable? You know, and I don't know. I don't know. I really don't see an end in sight for this kind of craziness right now. In the past couple of days, we saw Kona go down, Stages go down. We have reports that now Rafa closed down their headquarters in North Carolina, I believe. It seems like one after another, after another, after another. More cycling news comes out, and you guys message me all the time on Instagram. I see it. I just don't like to report on it every single day because it gets depressing. It's people's lives we're talking about. It's jobs we're talking about. It's my livelihood as well in the cycling industry. But this reminds me a lot of the 2008 recession. We started to see one fall after another, after another, after another. And basically what happens is over that time, it seemed not normal, but we're like, okay, that person goes down. Okay, that person goes down. But there's going to get to a point where now companies in need of money aren't going to be able to get loans because these people who are giving out loans are watching the people in their industry go under. And they're going to start questioning whether or not they should loan this person money. And then a loan might save that company, a loan might not save that company. And it's getting to a point where it's getting kind of sketchy now for a lot of people. Again, I always tell people, hunker down, be safe. But next bicycle example. A 2014, again, 10 years old, Tarmac SO4. Again, exposed cables, round down tubes, 40 millimeter carbon fiber deep dish wheels, quick release, rim brake. People are like, oh, I love it. It's very simple. It's very classic. This is what the bicycle should be. Now to this day, it's again, of the Tarmac, what it is. Literally aerodynamic, 6.8 kilos, hydraulic disc brakes, 12 speed, power meter included. These bicycles do not have power meters on them. Massively wide rims, deep dish aerodynamics gains, one-piece integrated bar and stem combination. This bicycle was $10,500, two-piece bar, no power meter. Again, that person in the year 2014 who has 10.5 has that. 2014, Trek Madone, 5.2. Now we're going down to the people always go, yeah, we get it. The top end range is so expensive. The top end range, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the lack of availability for the mid range or the beginning range. This is a 2014 Trek Madone 5.2. Retail on this thing in that time was $3,550. This was a 10-speed mechanical Ultegra with aluminum rims and aluminum rim track and exposed cables and two-piece bar and stem. There are better bikes out there right now in this current market for $3,600. I believe the Tarmac SL7 comp with 105 mechanical 12-speed hydraulic disc brakes, integrated cables on there is $3,600. And that's a way better deal than that in terms of value for what you're getting. I think just people get so stuck and correlated on names. And they're like, Ultegra back then was this. The 105 mechanical now has way better trickle-down technology than what that mechanical shifting was. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just the truth. Pinarello Dogma 65.1 Think 2 review. This bicycle in 2014 was $12,500 with Campy electronic, aluminum wheels. Okay, I know, I'm sorry, the picture might be blurry. Aluminum wheels, aluminum brake track, rim brake, and a one-piece bar and stem carbon fiber. $12,500. You're going to tell me this bicycle, people go, oh, the bicycle company's screwing us over for years. This is ridiculous. This bicycle in 2012 at 3 a.m. in the morning with aluminum wheels and exposed cables was $12,500. And people bought that and was like, yeah, I love this bike. That's ridiculous. I mean, what you get today for $12,500 is asinine. And you guys might think, okay, bikes, whatever it is, we have wheels here. We have Zip 404 Firecrest carbon clincher wheels on Bike Radar right here. USD $2,700 back when these things came out. In 2014 again. Carbon fiber wheels today. Let's just go ahead and specialize. I know, Revolve CLX wheels. You have a 50 front, 60 rear, disc brake, ceramic bearings inside there, a DT Swiss ratchet hub style system in there. $2,800. Way better aerodynamics. Probably lighter than these things as well. $100 more for inflation in terms of 10 years. Massive wild. And then just the last thing but not least, for kick it off again, people love to get stuck on the bicycle country, how much they rip people off. Let's go into a car example. I have here a 2014 Ford F-150 King Ranch. This car back in the day was $48,000. This is a top tier lane. This is almost like the label above them, the trim above them was a limited. King Ranch is right underneath that. This is fully loaded, decked out, $48,000. Today's day and age, how much you guys think it is? How much you think? Take a guess. 2024. 10 years. That's it. Almost double the price. You want to talk about inflation? You want to talk about price gouging? And then probably on top of that, you go into a dealer today because there's lack of inventory there. They're going to hit you with a markup price on there. A sticker price of like 10 grand for that dealership to have it. 74K. 30 grand more. So again, it's not these specific industries ripping you off. I'm sorry to say. It's a fact that at this point in time, when we all accepted this free money from COVID, and during that 2020, 2021, 2022 times, we were open at my store. Manufacturers were closed that I worked with for stores. We sold bikes. We worked through that COVID times. Oh, my light went off. We did everything. My dollar in that 2020 to 2022 time went way farther. I went on vacations with my wife and family. I went to hotels that were not as expensive because people weren't going there. This right here has consequences, and this is not what we are seeing. Our dollar is deflating. Your dollar is measured like in a ruler pretty much. It only has pretty much what's worth. Your dollar will only go so far as what it's worth. So, unfortunately, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I am both sides. I'm an advocate for this channel. I absolutely love it. But I like to talk to you guys to let you guys know some stuff about the bicycle industry. If you guys think I'm wrong, please let me know down in the comment section. I have no problem debating with you or talking with you guys. You guys are all valued opinions here. Everything is still very expensive in life. I know this. I do not discredit any one of you guys. You guys might be going through hardships, whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, this is a bicycle. And we are very fortunate to be discussing bicycle prices. This is not a necessity in life. You can find a cheaper bicycle if you need to. But luckily, it's not your car, your housing, your medicine, whatever the case might be. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.